Just to demonstrate as an extreme example, like I will not be able to clear this with these type of items. Just to show you the power of this build. Like I have no business being at this high corruption with this type of items. The monsters just melt. It's absolutely insane. Of course, a boss would just one-shot me, but I'm just saying I want to demonstrate this in an extreme example for you guys. Other than that, I spam the totems, hit out a bunch of darts. Not only that, I can let them explode. That's the real kicker. So just stand somewhere in the corner, stack up the poison stacks to 100 or something, and watch them melt. The vines are so good. They pull aggro and they regenerate rage. So therefore I can spam my totems and let them explode to get an insane poison AoE effect. Makes it really good for arena. SPRIGGAN is casting Entangling Roots. That means I get a damage buff. Or totems get a damage buff. I really gotta watch out here. This is wave 30 on the highest difficulty arena. I can have 6 vines in total. I can also spawn one when I kill a monster. As long as one vine is there, that's fine. Rotation works. And I can have infinite rage with all the gear and all the nodes in the skill tree and so on. So I can just place my totems. First of all, they're healing me still. They are still healing totems and Thorns Totems. If I need the burst. So let's talk about the gear here real quick. I consider this to be starter gear. Nothing too crazy. This is good for leveling. Also, and yeah, build is one at around level 28 with this, or around level 35-ish. Just passives in the skill tree. Still transforms back now and then into human form, but it's not that bad. I have clever solution for just let's take 1 to all skills. This set is pretty much carrying me due to all totem skills and crit multiplier and good stuff. It's this dagger and the ring, very boss. My second ring gives 1 to poison spells. The totems are now considered poison spells, and so this is a little bit a workaround. The best slot would be, there's a unique ring, I forgot the name, which gives just 2 plus skills to minions. On my entire account I haven't found a single one of those rings, so they seem to be rare. But this is a little bit my workaround. The poisons, with the poison shenanigans, I get the plus skill from there. For rage, in addition to the amulet, I have this belt here. Legacy of the Quiet Forest. 16 rage gained every 3 seconds while in SPRIGGAN form. Even more plus skills. I was really lucky here on the Primalist Relic. I got 1 to SPRIGGAN form on the Weaver stats, and yeah, plus 2 Primalist skills. Mainly attunement is the main stat for the build. Deck this a little bit. Also a crit strike avoidance. Insane build. I think this is also very old. If I remember correctly, they also introduced the Shaman later. I think there was Beastmaster and Druid first, and later on they introduced the Shaman. Therefore people always played the Druid with this totem type of build. This is a little bit more tanky approach. For more DPS I would play the exact same build pretty much, without the ensnaring thingies, without the entangling roots, and have the Storm Totem instead, but not cast the Storm Totem in the Shaman, in the SPRIGGAN form, So it requires more gear. It's this one button healing totem build. The build is kind of dumb, but it's fun. It's fun. When you get this going at level 30 something, the amulet is for level 28. Without the amulet around level 35, the build is online. And you have the basic machine going. You can spam healing totems dash Thorns Totem. Here, my remaining skills next to the totem and the Spriggan form is Entangling Roots, which in my setup is a damage buff. And I cannot cast this while in Spriggan form, but the Spriggan can cast it. Therefore I spec him accordingly. Has short cooldown, so he uses this quite frequently. I think that's alright. The healing, also I just use the Thorns Shield and it procs this one. Terra's Blessing. It's also a buff. So the moment I click Thorns Shield, I gain 75% elemental resistance. That's quite hefty. Other than that, if I will use it on the Spriggan, gain increased crit damage, spell damage. Just a passive buff by using a defensive ability basically. Other than that, totem. Summon vines. They are super important in the build, so it lets me tank high waves in the arena, so they pull aggro. And Garden of Rage makes it so they regenerate rage for me. So all in all, there's so much regeneration going on. Items and the passive nodes here that I can just use this infinitely. Therefore get the procs from Rotten Core. This turns it into a poison skill. One side note on the skill tree here. I think this skill is flexible. That's up to you. Those four are super important, but this one is flexible. I'm thinking about kicking this out and I use Maelstrom instead. Try to spec it away so I can get rage. But I'm not sure if I can stay consistent at 6 stacks. Has to be tested. But that would be something else. I cannot cast Maelstrom in the Spriggan form, but yeah, I can cast it with the Thorn Shield. Glacial Growth. 1 point would be enough. Maybe, I don't know. The starting skill tree is the following. Of course, it's a primalist class. And I chose the Druid. Gives 20% increased health. So it's more the tanky approach. Starting out with Natural Attunement in main stats and resistances. Harmony of Blades to wear 2 weapons. Primal Medicine for minion damage. Here, chunk of spell damage. 1 and 2, the following. Like a little buff, why not? 11%. 5 into Elder Branch for massive totem spell damage. 2 have the Rage to stay in Spriggan form. 5 points into Spirit Warden. 5 points into Focused Wrath and 1 point into Rancor. So if I walk around from in a high dense area, of course in higher corruption, there's always something going on, but if I walk from pack to pack, at least I don't lose rage when out of combat. I think it's worth this 1 point. Here, Claws of the Forest, increase damage boost, poison. For attack speed, cast speed, to place those totems faster. Grit. Harmonious Wisdom, that's one of the passives. That's the reason people choose Druid, if so. Because it makes it so the main stat scales up the crit strike avoidance. So technically this plus the right blessing is already enough to get crit capped. This is a strong one. And get rid of those points maybe with good gear, but on the other hand, especially in this example, I think, like from testing and playing the build, it's already pretty hungry in terms of plus skills, good crit stats, good offensive stats. There's almost no room for having crit strike avoidance, so it's pretty neat to cap that out with the passive plus blessing. I maxed out Woodland Beings, almost 50% just flat minion damage. Toxic Reach for the poison chance. This is a little reliant on proc. I swapped this around. So the high arena push, well, not really high, but you know, the arena push, the highest difficulty with this low bob gear, 400 corruption and so on, was with those 8 points. But I tend to swap, so I can become even more tanky with, if I put these 8 points into hide skin. Around, I don't know, 200 hit points, 300 hit points. Really neat also. Go with the theme of the Druid class here. My remaining points. This one has got damage taken, less damage taken from nearby enemies. So no matter if I play a Shaman, Druid, Beastmaster, I always have 8 points into here. For the intro and for Corruption 400, I had a Shamanic Infusion, 8 out of 8. But I'm not sure if it still works. So expect the following. 5 into Silent Protector, 5 into Totemic Fury to have more cast speed, to place them even faster to get more procs. And still 8 out of 8 Fate Cover for just massive 80% totem damage. But yeah, maybe I go back, like I will just test this, alright. Maybe I keep 8 out of 8 here, but I remove those and maybe go back to Shamanic Infusion. Maybe as a conclusion to this SPRIGGAN Thorns Totem Druid build. It's insanely tanky, while other builds can be stressful to maneuver at times. This is a very zoomy and relaxing type of playstyle. Therefore not the fastest build in the game. That's the drawback. Thanks for watching, let me know what you think and have a nice day guys.